Howdy folks, it's day 3 of a gun show up in my area. I got some pretty neat deals here. Obviously the first thing I picked up was a lower from Virginia Gun Trader, made by DK Firearms. Pretty nice, pretty proud of my state, so having the map of Virginia on there is kind of neat. Picked up a really nice holster here also for my car. I went up to the holster table. I didn't expect much luck. I said I want a canted, dark brown, left-handed holster for a car T9 that doesn't have a button top. So we have exactly that. I said sold. Great. And let me tell you, it's who's the maker on this thing? Here they are. MTR Custom Leatherwork. I guess what's their website? I'll give them a shout out. mtrcustomleather.net. It's a great holster. It's really comfortable, really nice snaps, really secure, and very low profile. Fantastic. And then of course I picked up these two little classics. I like really weird, unusual, ugly guns, you might say. This is a Webley Mark 6, and it's been shaved. So a typical Webley will shoot 4.55. This has been shaved to accept 45 ACPs. That means that they shave down the cylinder, but now that we're using this rimless cartridge, I have to actually use these moon clips. So I picked up some moon clips too for this thing. Anyway, let's take a look at this. This is kind of neat. It's a break action revolver made by the English, and apparently these are still in use up into the 80s in some of the former colonies. I know when my parents were stationed over in China and we'd go into Hong Kong, I think I'd seen some of these in some of the in the police uniforms. So break action like those Harrington Richardson 999s I have. It's auto eject. Really neat feature. I really love that on these old guns. And you saw that the door opening, instead of like lifting a latch on the top of the barrel, there's actually the latch here. So for a right-handed person, this is really good. And well, let's see. You might notice you actually have to push against the hammer spring too. So this isn't enough. You have to go against the hammer, and then you can work it. Anyway, so the way this thing works, these moon clips, and it's a real snug fit getting these things in here. Once again, these are real bullets, so we're not going to actually pull the hammer back on it. Wow, that is a snug fit. Let's take a look at this thing. Come on, come on. There we go. Once you get all the shells, or the casings, I mean, lined up properly, then it'll drop in no problem, and you have your ready to go revolver. And you actually have to load them all up. And it's kind of a pain, but what's kind of neat, they sold me this tool. They called it an uncapping tool. It's for taking the brass out, because popping them out, let me tell you, it's a job. So you kind of work this onto your round, and you just twist, and there it goes, pops right out. Kind of neat, huh? And then of course pop them on. You just line up the moon clip and with the rim of your cartridge, and just snap it on. So a bit of work to get to use this thing, but what a great looking revolver. I mean, I like these old mechanical look on these things. This is, as I said, a Mark 6, not one of the earlier ones that has that neat zigzag feature on the cylinder. But I figure for an introductory Webley for me, this will be fun. It has ammo that I'll be able to use. I definitely didn't want to get that 4.55 because I didn't want to have to make any special orders, which will be the case with this gun. I'll mention that in a second. But what a great little look to this thing. Totally functional. I'm going to take it to the range later on this week, put it through its paces. No adjustable sights, that's kind of strange. But yeah, I like it. So that brings us to this. You know, if we have the English here, well, what do we have? Also from Europe, we have this Bodeo. Let me get this magnifying glass out of the way. It's a Bodeo revolver. The model 1889. To be honest, I can't find the date on this thing, so I don't know. They said I didn't have to do any paperwork. It was so old. They found the date on here somewhere. I've started doing the disassembly of this thing, and I did make some mistakes. But I just wanted to point this out. It's just a weird gun. I picked it up for a really good price. So I tell you what, if you go to a gun show, bring some cash, or you know, even silver or gold. These guys will cut you deals any which way. Anyway, Bodeo, Italian gun. I believe that the Italians also nicknamed this one the lamb's leg, Cochetti d'Agnello, and I don't know when I'll get a chance to shoot it. It's chambered in, depending on who you ask, it's chambered in 10.35 or 10.4, which is just a really obscure round. And unlike the Webley, look at that, that's a really smooth action there. This is the hammer on this thing. God! Okay, that hammer, it's just, well, I don't know. These Italians have really strong thumbs, I guess. I don't know. And look at this, though. Look at these old revolvers, how they have this really rimmed hammer, you know, the thumb grip here on it. If you look at your modern revolvers, let's see if we have one of these somewhere around here. They don't look nearly like that. Oh, that's right, we went to the range. It's over here. I mean, the pronounced hammer on these old revolvers compared to like a modern Smith, look at that. That's a fair amount of difference. And you'll notice when the hammer strikes, it goes in completely, and then when you release on the trigger, it resets a bit. And that's to allow for the cylinder to keep moving so that the pin doesn't go in all the way. I think, let's see, with this shaved cylinder on this Webley, we might be able to see a little bit better how far that is struck. Maybe not. But you'll actually be able to, if you get one of these things, you'll be able to see that the pin is almost touching the cylinder on this thing, and then when you release the trigger and the hammer resets, then the pin is well within the frame now at this point. Same with the Bodeo, same thing. So we release, goes in all the way, release the trigger, reset to pull out that pin. But I mean, look at the massive claw on these pins. That's a heavy pull on that thing. And it's kind of neat. You saw that the Bodeo had this weird folding trigger. I don't know if that's to fit into a holster better or into a pocket or what the deal is. I don't know what the logistics are of that. Obviously, when you pull the hammer back, it needs to get the trigger out. But the Bodeo has a whole bunch of weird features, you know, which modern firearms don't really have to deal with. For one thing, the cylinder is free floating. Some people say that it's locked, but look at that. I can rotate it no matter what. And if you ask some people, the way they say I mean, it does function in single double action, so I don't like doing that too much with these mounted pins. But you open up the gate, the loading gate, which just drops back like this, and they say you pull the trigger now to actually load your rounds. And look at that. It actually disengages your hammer, but rotates the cylinder. Now, once again, you could rotate it, I guess. I don't know if this was like to speed things up, you know, you fill, rather than doing all that feature. But what a strange idea! What a strange and dangerous idea! No kidding, right? You know, what if you're getting ready to load it and you forgot to drop that gate, or if that gate hammer disengage didn't work? You know, you'd be pumping lead down range. Crazy. One of the other weird things on this thing, as I said, I was doing a disassembly on this, and I've made some mistakes on this. But first of all, you can actually access a lot of your work. This isn't a safety or anything. This is a takedown screw, and I hear that these things break, so I'm hoping I'm not going to break mine. But oh man, it's in there. Okay, here we go. So, and yeah, I keep shooting this thing with oil to try to make sure it's going to be good condition. So there's your takedown screw. You know, you can actually access the workings like that. I mean, most of these revolvers, you don't have a takedown screw on these things nowadays. I guess, I don't know if these Bodeos, you know, these Bodeos get really dirty or what the deal is, But that's strange. And almost every single part here is stamped with the number 10 for some reason. There's a 10 on the frame, 10 on the trigger, you know, 10 on the hammer. If you look at the cylinder, we'll pop out the cylinder in a bit. There's a 10. There's a 10 on this this swivel part, which we'll explain later. There's a 10 on the barrel. I don't know if they had like a whole batch of parts, you know, all marked with 10, and you know you had to assemble them all off of the same machine, or what the deal is, or if that's part of the. I don't think that's part of the serial number, because there is a number stamped on the side. Unless maybe that 10 is, you know, maybe 1910. I know they made the Bodeos from 1889, I think, until 1925, and I picked it up mainly because it's such a weird looking revolver. There is supposedly ammo that can be found online at roughly $1 a shot, but I just wanted to have one of these things because they're so strange. Here's what's one of the other weird things about this revolver. How do you unload this thing? All right. Well, you drop the gate, of course, and normally there's a push bar here. I mean, here, let's take a look at like this old, not old, but this modern single shot 6. You rotate the cylinder to get the shot out, and you use the push bar to knock things out, right? Well, where's that on the Bodeo? You know, it looks like it's here, and it actually is. Look, this is how this works. You pull out the push bar, you rotate this piece, you know, it looked like it was part of the barrel. So you rotate that, and that becomes your push bar for dropping everything out, dropping your casings out of the cylinder. What a totally weird design. I mean, it's the Italians, you know, artsy, clumsy. It's a mix of everything. It's a true chimera of a revolver. It's just so strange. And then further, I mean, we took down this bit here just to so you could clean the internals. But to take out the cylinder, drop this back. And this is where I actually made a mistake. So this piece here slides out, and there's all kinds of like little wedges you have to work your way around. But if you can do it, it'll slide out. And there's your cylinder. Your cylinder just falls straight out if your gate's open. So where I made the mistake, this screw has like a detent on the end of it that's supposed to fit into this channel on the spindle around which the cylinder rotates. Once again, look at that funny looking big cylinder. What a whopping big round. And here you can see there's a 10. I don't know if you can see that printed on it. Probably not. It's that number 10 again, repeated throughout the revolver. That's kind of interesting. Anyway, what happened is you might get the temptation, if you get one of these, to push this the spindle back in, or whatever you call this part. And first of all, there is a retention springs that once you do that, that part locks back out, and you have to do a lot of finagling to get this part back out. But this screw here actually has a nib on the end of it, like a detent or something like that, that fits in this groove to keep to lock this out to a certain distance. Well, the nib on mine, I ended up breaking off by pulling too hard on this thing, and the end result is now I can pull it straight out. Not a big problem, just a minor annoyance, but you know, it was a new gun for me, and I don't like actually damaging my new guns until I've had a chance to play around with them a little bit more. Anyway, so let's put that Bodeo back together. So you just drop your cylinder in, and then you kind of work the spindle back in place. And once again, you have all those little tiny angles to fit around. There it goes. And you drop your ejector back in. I really like how they maintain the octagonal look of this barrel. I mean, it looks flush, and then you just suddenly realize it's actually two pieces. And you just drop your ejector back in. It fits straight down that spindle. And I mean, what a great looking gun. It's just if you get a book called Firearms Curios, there are a bunch of weird guns in here, but I like actually having weird guns that I can actually not just read about, but actually hold. So this lamb's leg, I think some people even call them the ham bone. What a strange creation, you know, with the folding trigger, with the trap door that disengages the cylinder, with a weird ejector. It's just strange, and being more than 100 years old, it's it's a testament to those gun makers. What a great looking thing. And this Webley, wow, I can't wait to take this thing to the range. It's pretty massive. It's heavy compared to a modern 45 ACP. Maybe about the same weight, but the size on this thing, pretty big. Actually, this is loaded, so if you take into account the bullets, this thing's probably going to be even heavier. But what a great looking gun. Should be fun. The guys who sold it to me, I don't know if what they're thinking. They're like, oh, this will be your perfect home defense gun. Maybe, I don't know. This is more of a display gun for me, I guess. And I hope I don't get into Webleys, because that could be very expensive. I mean, what a great looking revolver. Yeah, if you get some of the earlier marks, I mean, this is the last Mark 6. The earlier ones, they could run you for a pretty penny. Anyway, off to the gun show now. Just thought I'd post that. Oh, got a few speed loaders from those H&R 9 shots. I was surprised to see that they were actually making them. So 9 shots of 22. Should be fun. Anyway, take it easy, everybody. Ciao.